Good day, students. You're welcome to English language class. This morning we'll be looking at functions of noun phrase. Functions of noun phrase. So I just decided, since we've already done noun phrases in class, so we'll be looking at the functions in today's lesson. So before I proceed, let me remind you what a noun phrase is. A noun phrase is a group of words that functions as a noun in a sentence. It consists of a noun and its modifiers like adjectives, articles, or other descriptors. Let me take that again. A noun phrase is a group of words that functions as a noun in a sentence. It consists of a noun and its modifiers like adjectives, articles, or other descriptors. And don't forget that the most important word in a noun phrase is the noun, the head word or the key word. So a noun phrase also can be as simple as a single noun like dog, or more complex like the big brown dog with a collar. So now to the functions of noun phrase. For this class, we'll be looking at functions of noun phrase. A noun phrase functioning as a subject, functioning as the subject of the sentence or the subject of the verb. That is what we'll be looking at in today's lesson. And before I proceed, a noun phrase can function as the subject of a verb. It can function as the object, either direct objects or indirect objects. And also it can function as a complement, subject complement, object complement, or prepositional complement. But for today's class, we'll be looking at noun phrase functioning as a subject, that is the subject of the verb. I believe you still remember what the subject is. The subject of a sentence is the part that tells us who or what the sentence is about. That is what the subject of a verb is. The subject of a verb or the subject of a sentence is the part of that sentence that tells us who or what the sentence is about. Every sentence is about something or is about someone. So that particular thing or the person that the sentence is about is the subject, or the performer of the action of the verb is the subject. The person that performs the action of the verb is the subject. For example, my umbrella was stolen. My umbrella was stolen. In that sentence, my umbrella is not performing any action, but the sentence is about the stolen object, which is my umbrella. Hence, my umbrella is the subject in that sentence. And another sentence is the boy threw the ball. The boy threw the ball. So in that sentence, you can see that someone performs an action, which is the boy. The boy threw the ball. So the boy in that sentence is also the subject because he's one performing the action of throwing the ball. So that is what the subject is, the subject of a sentence. That is what it is. So let me take that definition again. The subject of a sentence is the part that tells us who or what the sentence is about. So it usually contains the noun phrase and is often found at the beginning of the sentence. So that's another feature of the subject. The subject can be a noun, it can be a pronoun, and also it can be a noun phrase. So it usually contains the noun phrase and it's often found as the beginning of the sentence. So the subject of the sentence is found at the beginning of a sentence. It precedes the verb. So the subject performs or explains the action of the verb. That is another definition also, just as I said earlier, that the subject performs the action, the doer of the action of the verb. So the subject performs or experiences the action of the verb. That is what the subject is, or that's what subject is in a sentence, the doer or the performer of the action of the verb, or who or what the sentence is about. That is what the subject is. So now let's proceed to some examples. So where noun phrases are functioning as subjects, where noun phrases are functioning as subjects of the verb. The first example here is the tall tree swayed in the wind. The tall tree swayed in the wind. So the noun phrase in that sentence is the tall tree. The tall tree is the noun phrase in that sentence, and it is functioning as the subject. It is functioning as the subject. It's the one swaying. The tall tree swayed in the wind. The tall tree is the subject in that sentence, and it is a noun phrase. So that is the noun phrase functioning as the subject of the verb. Number 2, a beautiful bouquet of flowers was placed on the table. A beautiful bouquet of flowers was placed on the table. So the noun phrase in that sentence is a beautiful bouquet of flowers. A beautiful bouquet of flowers. That is the noun phrase in that sentence, and it is functioning as the subject of the verb. The third example, my old leather jacket has finally worn out. My old leather jacket has finally worn out. The subject in that sentence also is my old leather jacket. My old leather jacket is the noun phrase in that sentence, functioning as the subject of the verb. Number 4, the loud barking dog scared the dog. The loud barking dog scared the boy. The loud barking dog scared the boy. So the noun phrase in that sentence is the loud barking dog. The loud barking dog, and it is functioning as the subject of the verb. The next example, several books on the shelf were missing. Several books on the shelf were missing. So in that sentence also, the subject there is several books on the shelf. Several books on the shelf. That is the noun phrase in that sentence, functioning as the subject of the sentence, because the sentence is about the several books on the shelf that were missing. So several books on the shelf is the noun phrase in that sentence, functioning as the object of the verb. The next example, the curious little boy asked a lot of questions. The curious little boy asked a lot of questions. The noun phrase there is the curious little boy, functioning as the subject of the verb. The next example, a bright red car stands out in the parking lot. A bright red car stands out in the parking lot. So the noun phrase in that sentence also is a bright red car. A bright red car, which is functioning as the subject of the verb. The next example, a group of students gathered in the library. A group of students gathered in the library. A group of students is the noun phrase in that sentence, functioning as the subject of the verb. Number 9, our new puppy loves to play in the yard. Our new puppy loves to play in the yard. So the noun phrase in that sentence is a new puppy. A new puppy, functioning as the subject of the verb. And the last example, the shining stars in the sky illuminated the night. The shining stars in the sky illuminated the night. So the noun phrase in that sentence is the shining stars in the sky. The shining stars in the sky. That is the noun phrase, and it's also functioning as the subject of the verb. So those are the different examples that will be given in this lesson, where noun phrases are functioning as the subject of the verb or the subject of the sentence. So before the end of the class, let me remind you what the subject is again. The subject of a verb is the part that tells us who or what the sentence is about. That is what the subject is. The part that tells us who or what the sentence is about. Also, it usually contains the noun phrase and is often found as the beginning of the sentence. The subject performs or experiences the action of the verb. So what performs the action of the verb is the subject, and who or what experiences the action of the verb, that is who or what the sentence is about, is also known as the subject of the verb. So for your classwork, you are going to write five sentences, and you identify the noun phrases in the sentences. You identify the noun phrases that are in the sentences. That is for your classwork. And your assignment: write another five sentences where the noun phrases function as the subjects in the sentences. Write five sentences where the noun phrases function as subjects in the sentences. That is for your assignment. For your classwork, just write five sentences and identify the noun phrases. The noun phrases can function as subjects, objects, or complements. Just write five sentences where we have noun phrases. But your assignment: write five sentences where the noun phrases function as subjects in the sentence. Thank you. See you next time.